In the news, in a recent interview with Screen Rant, Marvel Studios president Kevin Feige stated the Hulk will have a 3-story arc that begins with Thor Ragnarok and concludes in Avengers 4. Link for the article in the show notes below. So I think this is actually a really clever way to give the Hulk audience more Hulk. Because there's been a lot of talk about why don't we have another Hulk standalone film, and with the rights and how everything is kind of set up and everything like that, it's a little difficult to actually make the Hulk movie. Similar to how they made Spider-Man, they had to get certain rights and privileges from Sony. That's what has to happen with the Hulk, but I believe the Hulk is with Universal. So there's a little bit of a back and forth that has to take place, so it's no surprise that they haven't made the Hulk movie yet. But I do like how they're incorporating Hulk into their movies to tell his story as well, kind of like a subplot, similar to Captain America Civil War with the Black Panther, and then kind of like how he's in the movie, but the main story is Tony, Iron Man, and Captain America. So, and then you have like the Black Panther just kind of weaving his way through the whole story, doing his own thing, but it's all connected. I like how that seems to be the route they're going with the Hulk, to tell Hulk movies. So I'm curious when I heard this news to see if they're going to kind of go that route, where we're going to see the Hulk kind of trying to distance himself, if you will, from Bruce Banner. Because what we're hearing about in the Hulk movie is that Hulk actually is a conscious being with thought and everything else, and that's why he's able to talk to Thor in the trailers and like everything else that we've seen so far from Thor Ragnarok. Obviously, it hasn't come out yet, so we haven't seen it, but what we've seen in the trailers is telling us that Hulk is a conscious being now. He's not just a rage monster, and he can actually formulate thoughts and sentences and everything else. So it will be interesting to see how that works going forward. So I'm excited about it because I hope there's going to be this struggle between man and monster that would really give some exciting storytelling if done right. And Marvel has a track record of getting stories right. So I'm excited. I hope you guys are excited too. Sound off below. Gore Verbinski will be directing the new Gambit movie, and the release date has been set for February 14th, 2019. Details regarding the story and cast have yet to be announced. So if you saw the Facebook live stream from Saturday, we covered this just briefly, but I did want to talk about it again on this show because after the Facebook live stream ended, which you can actually go back and watch on YouTube, the replay is available. So check that out. It's in the Facebook Live playlist. So I created that one for all the future Facebook Live episodes to be replayed there. So check it out. For this story, I did some research because I was like, well, if they've officially announced that we have a director and Channing Tatum is on board to be Gambit, how far along are we? Did we get the script done? Is there a plot, a synopsis, if you will, on IMDb? Like, what's going on with this film? So I did a little research, and there's nothing for this film. So they have a director, they have a star in Channing Tatum, and there's no synopsis, so I don't even know if the script is done. I haven't seen any updates on that. I haven't seen an update on the budget, because as we discussed on Saturday on the Facebook live stream, it was over $100 million for a movie about a thief, a pickpocket, if you will, and his band of merry men. It's just so weird to think that you would need that much money to do like an Ocean's 11 style X-Men film. Why do we have a release date? I feel like we're just getting this entire project, right, continues to be just like this confusing setup for disappointment. Now, it's great that they have a director and they have a star. There's no supporting cast on IMDb. I haven't seen anything else about like a plot or how well the script is coming along. Now, it's 2017 right now, right? So let's not get too crazy. Let's not get ahead of ourselves. It's 2017 right now. The film doesn't come out for over a year, right? February of 2019. So they have plenty of time to write the story, shoot everything, and then spend the rest of the time in post-production getting all the CGI and everything else together. So we have plenty of time for this film. It's just weird that they keep announcing these little like bits, like one at a time, without just being like, okay, let's just not say anything until we're good to go. Like until we're ready to actually get this thing made, let's just zip zip it, and then we can stop like, here's a little bit, nope, it's changing. Here's a little bit, nope, it's changing. So sound off below if you're excited about the Gambit movie. Also, if Gambit is like your favorite character, because I know a lot of people like him, what's a comic book storyline that you've read that you think we should check out? Sound off below with a comic book that you think we should read that kind of covers the story of Gambit and the character of Gambit, so we can better understand why Fox is so persistent on making this film when it's been just wrought with trouble. Director Ron Howard continues to tease positive news for the Star Wars spin-off film Han Solo via his Twitter account. Recently, Ron posted a photo with the hashtag #TagInBink, signaling 2 comic book characters are making a big screen debut. So I had to do some research on this one because while I am a Star Wars fan and I'm part of a Star Wars family, right? We are Star Wars. We've already got our tickets for opening night for The Last Jedi. Can't wait. But if you're like me and you aren't familiar with Tag and Bink, you may have been a little bit confused as to why the internet was like, this is going to be fantastic. Let's just cover a little bit of who Tag and Bink are. Tag and Bink are these characters from the comic books of Star Wars that Dark Horse put out a while ago. So before Marvel took over everything and Star Wars and Lucasfilm all kind of got absorbed into the Disney brand and Marvel started making these comic books, they were published by Dark Horse. So these 2 characters are soldiers who have force sensitive abilities. They're like kind of like they have the potential to have the force, and they somehow haphazardly, according to the internet, have a hand in the events that happen in the trilogies. So I'm not sure how it plays out because I didn't read the comics. So if you read the comics, sound off below as to why we should be excited about Tag and Bink, because I'm not familiar with these characters, but it sounds kind of like a humorous thing that these guys are going to somehow be responsible for something that happens in the trilogies, from what we know with A New Hope, right, going all the way through to Return of the Jedi, or possibly even have the hand in some of the events from the prequels, or maybe what they do is going to lead into something that happens with this new trilogy with Force Awakens and The Last Jedi. We don't know. I do want to go back because I guess there's a collection called Tag and Bink We're Here. So I'm going to take a look for that and see if I can find that pretty inexpensively, right? So use comic book shop, use bookstores, support local people. See if we can find that. But Ron Howard, back to the story. Ron Howard has been doing a phenomenal job with all of the chaos that happened with Lord and Miller leaving right at the very end and Ron Howard being brought in to kind of correct and re-guide the ship of Han Solo to deliver us the Han Solo spin-off film that's actually going to be entertaining and fun. He's been doing a phenomenal job on Twitter, just giving little photos and little fun things here and there to just reinstill the confidence in us as viewers, and fans. So I'm pretty excited about what he's been doing online, and I like the direction he's going with this, because if you take a look right here, you can see it on the screen. It's not going to be full screen, but you can see it. This is him posting on Twitter. This is the photo of him with Tag and Bink. You can see like these guys are part of the Empire. They're the bad guys from what it looks like. So this could be a lot of fun. They could be kind of like the zany comedic relief, if you will, the Abbott and Costello of the Star Wars universe for this one particular film. We don't know. We'll have to wait and see. Again, if you're familiar with these characters, sound off below in the comments. Conrad Vernon will helm the Addams Family animated movie for MGM. Pamela Petler wrote the screenplay with Matt Lieberman assisting with revisions, according to The Hollywood Reporter. Link for the article in the show notes below. So Conrad Vernon, I'm actually familiar with his films more than I'm familiar with like him and his name, which isn't surprising. Usually we see the people's movies and then all of a sudden we're like, oh, he did all of those movies or she did all of those movies. So this really isn't like a shocker. But he directed films like Shrek 2, Monsters vs. Aliens, Madagascar 3, and Sausage Party. So this guy has got his foot in animation and he knows how to direct animated films. So that's a big plus for us that we can kind of sit back and go, oh, okay, so this guy knows what he's doing when it comes to directing animated films, how to get the best voice talent and how to get the best voice performance out of voice actors or just regular actors that get contracted to do voice work. That happens too. So I'm pretty excited about this news. Not because of who he is, but because it's the Addams Family. I love the Addams Family. I was raised on the Addams Family. I would stay up late watching Nick at Night, and the Addams Family was on Nick at Night when I was a kid. So I grew up loving that. I was very excited when they remade the TV show into movies. And in fact, I own the Addams Family movie, the first one. I think that's a great story. It's kind of cheesy. It's a little campy, but the story really works well. Like all the characters, everything else, it's so over the top and so they just embellish everything so much. It's great. So if you haven't seen the Addams Family movie, the first one, check that out. The second one is okay, but definitely check out the first one. So if you tell me the Addams Family is coming back, I'm excited. You've got my interest that quick. I'm here. Tell me more. Tell me more. We're getting an animated film. I can't wait. And I like the fact that who they brought on to take on this very special franchise is actually familiar with how to direct animation and has done a good job with directing these films. Now, I didn't see Madagascar 3, but Sausage Party was a very inappropriately funny movie. I laughed a long time. And also the Shrek series, Shrek 2, is really good. So I'm familiar with the way he likes to direct these animated films, and I appreciate that. But I'm more excited that we are getting the Addams Family again on the big screen, but this time in animation, because I think you'll be able to get so much more crazy, zany, just over-the-top campy Addams Family in animation that you would never be able to get in live action. And because of that, I cannot wait. So sound off below if you're excited about the Addams Family. Let's move on to the next topic. Honorable mentions this week. Fox released a teaser trailer for their new X-Men spin-off film, New Mutants. Mike Vukadinovich will be rewriting the script for Beetlejuice 2. Disney has dropped the animated film Gigantic from its upcoming film slate. Finn Cole and Travis Fimmel are set to co-star opposite Margot Robbie in the new indie film, Dreamland, directed by Miles Joris Perifit. And the new X-Men film, Dark Phoenix, has officially wrapped principal photography. All right. And that is it for the news this week. If there was anything that popped off in the news that you saw that you were excited about that we didn't cover, as always, sound off in the comments below. And definitely go back and check out the Facebook Live replay on this channel. Again, I created a playlist just for Facebook Live. So going forward, if you click that subscribe button right now, go ahead and smash it. And that way, anytime we update the site with new content for you guys, you won't miss it. Especially because we're going to be doing live streams now as part of this channel going forward. We're shooting for at least once a week to start, and we'll see how it goes and see if we have room to grow there. Definitely smash that subscribe button.